So now it's drying time for these. I let this dry on my workboard itself. I never use any other surface because I think wood always tends to help with absorbing the excess moisture, and also I also tend to cover these with a thick sheet of plastic. The reason I do that is so that it can just avoid with the warping. The warping is nothing but the bend that you see quite commonly in flat pieces like this. So there could be several reasons for that. It could be that your pendant probably is made a little too thin. So try to keep it at least at a thickness of about 0.6 centimeters. I mean 0.5 or 0.6 centimeters. And the other thing is the uneven drying. So what happens is in most cases you would end up seeing that the sides tend to dry out much quicker than the center. So you'll see that either your piece kind of has a bend, has a wavy bend, kind of goes convex or concave. That's I'm sure most terracotta jewelry artists would have seen this in their pendants. So one way that you can avoid this is by covering your work with a thick sheet of plastic. So this is a thick sheet of plastic, and I just cover it up. I just put a couple of pieces of just clay, just so that it can just so that there's no air that kind of seeps through. You don't have to do this for just one piece. If you're making about 10 such pieces, you can just cover with a thick sheet of plastic all over and just make sure there is no air that kind of gets in. What this will end up doing is slow down the process at which your pendants and your earrings would dry quite drastically. If it's left open, this pendant in this kind of a weather where I live, it'll dry in like less than 24 hours. But I still never take a chance. I generally leave it anywhere between 3 days to about 5 days. In this case, it might probably actually take that long to dry. So, this may not really dry tomorrow. It might take maybe a day more to dry, or maybe more than that. And if you think your piece is still drying very quickly, the other alternative that you can actually do is spray a little bit of water. You see how little this is? You can just spray a little bit of water. Just one thing though, please don't soak the entire plastic in water. The idea is not to have your pendants soaking wet. It is just to keep them a little cool, that's all. It's just to slow down the drying process. And I put it in this manner. I go back, I just make sure it's all covered, and that's it. This is it. This method somehow has helped me over the years, but let me tell you that this is not like you will still end up seeing some pieces getting warped to a certain degree. At least in my case, it has reduced. I'm doing this for most of my pendants. I think the warping has reduced to a great deal. So you can actually try this at least by about, I would say about 90-95%. You will see that the bend is a lot lesser when you dry your pieces in a very controlled manner. Rather than just leaving it out. The other thing is, don't try quick drying it under a fan or near an AC vent, or no artificial methods of drying. Don't use a blow dryer or nothing of that sort. Just let it dry on its own, and that's it. I think this is how I leave it. I'll probably come back and maybe check after about 10 hours or so. I'll just take a look at the pendant and see how it is. Sometimes what also tends to happen is, because I know there is no design on top of this, I just give it a bit of a gentle press, because I know now this is already quite set. It's not going to take up the print of my hand or nothing. The design is not going to change, but this applies only for pendants which do not have a design on top. Please remember, if you have any kind of a motif on it, or any kind of patterns or anything drawn, just don't press it too hard. You don't want to really spoil that design. So this is it. I really hope this method of drying your pendants solves the problem of warping to a great degree. So yep, I think once this dries completely, this will be fired, and then we can begin painting it and assembling it.